Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, or Left Turn Central, here joined by co host Brandon Bull Davis and co host Ben Miller. Fellas, today we're going to be going through and giving grades, final grades for the entirety of the NASCAR field, from Rickware Racing all the way to Hendrick Motorsports. But before we get into that, guys, how we doing?
Not bad, man. Got to watch Kentucky football beat Florida. Got to watch Kentucky basketball get another win, and didn't have to watch the Bengals defense. So, not a bad weekend.
Yeah, definitely sounds like fun. I mean, I also tuned into some Kentucky football, watching them beat Florida. Got to watch Kentucky basketball get a win, watch NKU basketball, men's and women's, and yeah, it was definitely nice not to watch the Bengals defense for sure. But yeah, overall it was a good weekend. I mean, I'm sad that NASCAR's over, but outside of that, it was a good weekend. Colton, what about you, man?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. We're recording this on a Monday, so I just played some basketball. Just been enjoying basketball, being back. Watched a lot of college football on Saturday. But yeah, just living the life. Missing NASCAR, but college basketball always had a good way of patching that need pretty well. So
For sure.
without further ado, though, let's go ahead and get right into it. We have a lot to talk about. So let's start with the worst team in NASCAR last season, or the worst finishing driver in NASCAR last season. That is Rick Ware Racing. Their one full time driver was Cody Ware, of course. His best finish was 13th, and he had 11 DNFs with a 36th place finish in the point standings.
So for Rick Ware Racing, I actually gave them an F plus for the team, and Cody Ware D minus. As you mentioned, 11 DNFs on the year. The reason Cody Ware got a little higher was we haven't really seen him in good equipment, so we don't know if it's the crap equipment that he's got or if it's the crap driver.
Yeah, for sure. My grade for Cody Ware, I'm going to give him a D minus as a driver. I mean, overall it was just a rough 2025 season, getting zero top tens. But however, he did show flashes at the super speedways. I mean, he led 23 laps at Daytona. Showed flashes at Talladega. He was running up front, flirting with the lead a little bit, leading some laps. But other than that, it's just been a really tough year. And just looking at Rick Ware Racing as a whole, I would give them an F because yeah, they definitely didn't provide Cody Ware the best equipment, and yeah, that's where I stand with Rick Ware Racing.
I got an F for Rick Ware Racing. I got an F for Cody Ware. I don't think either one are really anything we should look at the bright side on. I don't think Cody Ware has ever been a Cup Series talent, an Xfinity talent, or a Truck Series talent personally. I don't think Rick Ware Racing has ever been a legitimate Cup Series team. They're a money scam that pretty much just is living off the charter system. So it'll be interesting to see what driver they pick up in the next year or two to try and not lose their charter. But um, yeah, there's my negative outlook on Rick Ware Racing. Moving along to Haas. Cole Custer was their one driver, and I do have a little bit more of a positive outlook on Cole Custer. He had 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, a 32nd place finish in the points, and 4 DNS, which is the second best in his career.
So Cole Custer, I actually gave him a C minus. We've seen him perform in other series, even at other manufacturer or other last year. Even had a better season. So the team, I actually gave them a D plus. I think dropping down to one car, that team really struggled, and I think that ultimately hurt Custer's performance.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to give Cole Custer a D minus. I mean, overall rough season for Cole Custer. They struggled to find consistent speed, I should say, at the intermediate tracks. I mean, lots of finishes outside the top 20, but however, he did show flashes at the super speedways, like I talked about with Cody Ware. Came close to winning the 500, was in position to potentially win that one. Came close to winning the summer race at Daytona. Showed top 10 speed at Talladega, but Haas factory team as a whole, I think I'm going to give them a D as well, just because they didn't really supply Cole Custer with the best equipment. Like I said, not really performing well on the track speed wise, but yeah, that's where I stand with Haas factory team and Cole Custer.
I got Cole Custer at a D plus. I think he's proven that he is a great Xfinity driver, and maybe he could be a little better at the Cup Series level than his equipment makes it look like. And speaking of the equipment, I give Haas a D minus. Moving on to Hyak Motorsports or Hawk 2 Motorsports, whatever you want to call it. They also had just one driver, Ricky Stenhouse, who had 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s on the year and a 30th place finish in the points.
So starting off with Ricky himself, I gave him a C minus. Back at the beginning of the season, we talked about him being in the playoffs, and he fell off. Whether that be the team or the driver, had a hell of a start to the season. And to that, I also gave Hyak Motorsports themselves a C minus.
Gotcha. Yeah, for myself, starting off with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I'm going to give him a D. I mean, his average finish was 27th, which was slightly worse compared to 2024. I mean, yeah, Bull, like you mentioned, he had a solid start to the season. He was putting together consistent top 20 finishes in the first 15 races. And yeah, since then, he's struggled to find that consistent speed and get those good finishes like we saw at the beginning of the year. And yeah, so I give Stenhouse a D. And Hyak Motorsports as an organization, I would give them a D as well, just because of the equipment, especially what we saw, what they provided in the second half of the year for Stenhouse.
So for Ricky, I gave him a C. I gave Hyak a C as well. I feel like Ricky didn't do anything that blew me out of the water, except for, I mean, he was in the playoff hunt up until Mexico. Had a really great start to the year. Really fell off a cliff in the second half of the year, which we've all said. But I give him credit for that. I don't think he did anything that was surprisingly bad for his standards. First season from Hyak to have the same production as JTG, who had been around for years, that's fine by me. So I don't have too much negative things to say, but nothing positive as well. So give me right in the middle out of C. Moving on to front row, we have Noah Gragson, who wheeled the 4 car for them. 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, a 34th place finish in the points, which is down 10 spots from last season. Todd Gilliland had 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s, 27th in the points, down 5 from the year before. And then you got Zane Smith, who also had 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s with a 27th place finish in the point, or 28th place finish in the points, which is actually up 2 spots from where he finished at Spire last season.
So starting off with Noah, I actually gave Noah an F, dropped down 10 spots, especially compared to his teammates. Had a crap year. Todd Gilliland, gave him a C plus, and Zane Smith a C minus. Gilliland had an average start of 25th on the season, and an average finish of 20th. So if you're improving on Sundays, you're outrunning your equipment. And then Zane Smith actually had a worse finish than he started. Him and Gilliland did run together about all year, but Gilliland was moving up on Saturdays and Zane was moving backwards.
Gotcha. Yeah, starting off with front row motorsports, or Noah Gragson, I should say. I gave Gragson an F as well. I mean, didn't perform well compared to 2024 with Stewart Haas Racing, dropping 10 spots in points, like we mentioned. Did not have the best equipment. It impacted his on-track performance and results, and he was involved in a lot of wrecks this year as well. But yeah, definitely disappointing there for Noah Gragson. And Todd Gilliland, I give him a D. It was a slight drop compared to 2024. Showed potential at the beginning of the season with getting top 20 finishes, and he had a rough summer stretch, but made it up at the end of the year, putting together 2 top 10 finishes. And but yeah, overall as a whole, I expected a little bit more from Todd Gilliland. And last but not least, Zane Smith, I give him a C. I mean, he was by far the best. Well, I wouldn't say by far, but in my opinion, he was the best driver at Front Row Motorsports. Showed a lot of flashes, outperforming his teammates, putting together top 20 finishes, and he was in contention to possibly get an upset win at Bristol and Atlanta. And just looking at Front Row as a whole, I give them a D minus.
For me on front row, we all gave Noah Gragson Fs. He failed our class. He's going to have to come back another year. I think he flunked, but I mean, you look at his average finish as well, 25th. That's 6 spots down from the year prior. He was at what I consider to be an equal team to front row Stewart Haas Racing, but I'm starting to realize as I go through, maybe they weren't as bad as everyone gave them credit for. They just were a lot worse than they used to be. Todd Gilliland, I think, is an overhated driver. I think the perceptions around it is that Zane Smith came in and did better. That's just not the case. He finished better in the points. He had a slightly better average finish. They just kind of ran the same. I gave him a C minus though, because I expected him to take a jump and take the next step, and he didn't really do that at all. He just kind of ran the same. Zane Smith, though, I didn't have very high expectations on going into this year, and he exceeded those expectations. So I'll give him a C plus. That leads us to Kaulig, though, who had Ty Dillon in the 10 car. He had one top 10 on the year. He finished 33rd in the point standings. AJ Allmendinger was in the 16 car. He had 2 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and finished 26th in the standings.
So starting with Ty Dillon, I gave him a D plus. If you look at his average start and his average finish, he was finishing about one spot better than he qualified. So give him a D plus on that. Also, he was made a run in the mid-season tournament, so got to give him a little credit for that. AJ, on the other hand, I actually gave him a C. We're used to seeing him compete for road courses, and we just didn't see that much this year. He did show some 1.5-mile speed, but all in all, his performance was not what I expected. For the team grade, I gave them a C minus.
All right. Yeah, for myself, just starting off with AJ Allmendinger, I'm going to give him a D. I mean, he started out the year pretty good. I mean, he was performing well on Saturdays in qualifying. He was getting top 10 results, showing speed at the 1.5-mile tracks, like you mentioned, Bull. But it was a mixture of good and bad results, and it was hard to get some momentum going. And yeah, like you also said, Bull, he wasn't really there competing for wins on the road courses like we all expected. But Ty Dillon, I'm going to give him a D plus. I mean, he was putting together solid top 20 results, and like you said, made a deep run in the in-season tournament, finishing runner-up to Ty Gibbs. And but since then, to end the year, the summer stretch going into the playoffs, it was definitely a rough way to end the year. I mean, he was definitely not getting the results that we saw during the summertime and with the in-season tournament. But overall, I'm going to give Kaulig I think I'm going to give them a D.
I gave Kaulig a C minus. I gave Ty Dillon a D plus. I just can't help but feel like there's a better driver out there that could be in that ride and get better performance. We'll see that when Dodge comes around. I actually don't think he's confirmed to be in that 10 car next year, so I'm curious what happens with that if they downsize to 1 because of all the money that's being funneled into the truck series right now. AJ Allmendinger, I gave a C plus. This guy was 18th in the regular season standings going into Gateway, or non-playoff standings, I mean. He then proceeded to finish 36th, 20th, 36th, 9th, 19th, 37th, 28th, and 38th to finish off his season. An absolute collapse, some on him, some not on him. Regardless, it was an ugly finish. He stopped showing up to class. Attendance was down, but I still give him a C plus because of the improvement that we saw at the 1.5 miles and all around. Just, I feel like he had a much better season and then just lost it all at the end. That leads us though to Legacy Motor Club, who had John Hunter Nemechek driving the 42 Toyota. I want to point out that he had 22 lap lead finishes, which is up 10 from the year prior for him. He also had 2 top 5s and 8 top 10s. 25th in the points. That is up 9 positions from where he finished last year in that same 42 car. Big improvements there. Eric Jones, 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, a 24th place finish, despite the point penalty that he got hit by, I believe a 50-point penalty. He goes up 4 spots from where he finished last year in that 43 car. Again, a big improvement on the season.
So I'm going to start with the team on this one. I actually gave the team grade a C plus, but I gave John Hunter Nemechek a B minus and Eric Jones a B. I feel like both of them outran the equipment that they were given this year, especially with John Hunter, the increase in lead lap finishes and the number of DNFs. Eric Jones only had 2 DNFs on the year.
Interesting. For myself, starting off with Eric Jones, I'm going to give him a C plus. I mean, he improved from 2024, of course. had a rough start to the season, not really getting the results. But he was, as we got later into the season, or more into the season, I should say, he was putting together solid runs at these intermediate tracks, and he even got a couple of top 10s and top 15 finishes, which is a great sign for improvement. And just to talk about his teammate John Hunter Nemechek, I also give him a C plus. Like we said, showed improvement compared to 2024 with speed and performance. He was also putting together top 20 runs um, and had top 10 results on intermediate tracks. So yeah, I feel like Legacy as a whole, I'm going to give them a C plus because I just feel like with the improvements that they made going into this 2025 season, that definitely showed on the track and especially at the intermediate tracks too, because these guys, they definitely showed a lot of flashes. So C plus for Legacy.
Legacy, I gave as a team a B minus. I love the improvement, and I'm going to give credit for that improvement. John Hunter Nemechek, speaking of improvement, I give him a B. I think the clear drive, the clear improvement in just clean racing. Well, clean racing might be a stretch, but an overall much more polished John Hunter Nemechek this year. For the most part, there was a couple rough instances that he still got to figure out, but still, I just think the overall there was clear improvement. Eric Jones, it's kind of like going back to where he was before, but still the improvement from last year, you can see it. They're getting better cars, and that partnership with Toyota is paying off. Really hit their stride in the second half of the season, and yeah, there's that. Another team, Spire, that is moving up in the ranks. It seems as though had 3 drivers this year. Justin Haley in the 7. He had 1 top 5, 2 top 10s with a 31st place finish. Michael McDowell, a 3 top 5s and 6 top 10s with a 22nd finish in the points. And then Carson Hocevar in the 77, 2 top 5s, 9 top 10s, a 23rd place finish in the points.
So I'm going to start with Justin Haley. I gave him a C. I feel like he got a bad rap this year. Got a new crew chief at the beginning of the season. Crew chief no longer with the team after 9 races, getting another new team. It takes a little bit of time to build that chemistry. So I'm going to give him a C. I don't feel like he got a fair shake on the season. Carson Hocevar, I feel like we may disagree on this one, but I actually gave him a D plus. The driver shows significant speed, but he's very inconsistent and 11 DNFs on the year. And most of those, just the driver being too aggressive, making mistakes. Michael McDowell, I'm going to give him a B minus. He was great qualifying, but his race performance, he actually was finishing worse than he was qualifying most of the time. Road courses, he did have some good success and even was able to compete with SVG at Chicago for most of the race.
And starting off with Carson Hocevar, I think I'm going to give him a B. I mean, it was an up and down type of season for Carson Hocevar. I mean, he showed up to the track with good speed, showed that he can compete with the big names in NASCAR, performed well at the big tracks such as Atlanta and Michigan, which Michigan, he came close to getting his first career win. But yeah, I feel like he showed a lot of potential on what he can do on these tracks and what he can do going against some of the best in NASCAR. So give a B to Carson Hocevar. And Michael McDowell, I'm going to give him a C. I mean, he had a personal best in top 5 finishes, has been one of the best qualifiers all season, showed great speed on the road courses. Like you said, Bull, he was competing with SVG at Chicago. But I would say it was a solid first season for Michael McDowell at Spire. And last but not least, Justin Haley. I'm going to give him a D. Looked like it was going to be a promising season with Rodney Childers, but unfortunately that didn't go as well as planned as Childers parted way just nine races in and wasn't really performing well compared to McDowell and Hocevar. I mean, the only positive from this year was he was in contention to win at Daytona, but overall, it was just a tough year for Justin Haley. And as a whole, I would give them a C.
I refuse to give Justin Haley a grade. I'll give him an incomplete because there was just so much going on outside of it. And I think despite all of that, he still had a better year than Corey LaJoie did. He still was just slightly worse than Daniel Suarez was when you look at the stats outside of top fives and top tens. So he's in Trackhouse equipment. I don't know what more you want. Um, yeah, I think he definitely got the shaft. It was really stupid what happened, but I'm excited to see what he does with Kaulig. I think that's a very great opportunity for him to get back in the Cup Series and maybe be competing very, very much so. Michael McDowell, I think he's getting a little bit too much hate, not necessarily just from these guys, but from what I see around the garage. I don't know what was really expected of him, but I think he did a good job. He improved his average finish by 3 positions on what it was at front row. He also improved a position in the point standings from what he did at front row. So overall, he came to Spire, which was a team that I would consider last year to be worse than that of front row, and he improved them, made them better than what he was doing at front row racing. And yeah, I think your point on the qualifying, I think sometimes when you qualify so high and you have a car of the caliber of Spire, you're just kind of destined to lose spots. You're going to lose spots. I don't necessarily think that's a knock on Michael McDowell. He's just got cars that are bad fast, but don't necessarily do well in the corners. And so he gets good qualifying times, but once that long run disappears, it's just going to skew his stats a little bit. So I don't hold that against McDowell. I think that's just kind of the strategy they went with, and that's just kind of what's going to happen. Carson Osavar in the seat. You want to rebut
Go
that?
ahead. Go ahead.
Carson Osavar, I gave a C. I think honestly I could give him a C minus, but he did have some really great flashes. Really, I mean, should have won a couple races probably. But his average finish overall is down 2 spots to 21st, 21.6 to be exact. And his DNFs, he had 2 last year, and Paul mentioned he had a ton of them this year. So he's regressing, and I'm not going to give him a B because he regressed. No, I just called out Ben. I didn't mean to call you out, but that's what came to mind. I'm not going to give him a good grade because he regressed really in most parts, except for he was up front a little bit more, but he didn't finish those races. So
That's what that's what I was getting ready to say
Paul.
a minute ago. I thought you were done. Carson Hocevar having a better grade than Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell is wild.
I agree, but it's all opinions at the end of the day.
Yeah, it goes 50-50.
And then we go on to also overall for the team, I gave them a C. I thought they did just about what I expected. Maybe Carson Hocevar pushed my expectations, but he didn't end up finishing to push those expectations for me. RFK, Brad Keselowski, he had 6 top 5s, 13 top 10s in the 6 car this year, a 20th place finish in the points. Chris Buescher, he had 5 top 5s, 16 top 10s, and a 17th place finish, which is exactly the same as he did last year. Ryan Preece, first year in the 60 car, 3 top 5s, 14 top 10s, and an 18th place finish in the point standings.
So Brad K and Chris Buescher, I'm going to give them both B pluses. I think they both had good seasons, showed speed. Brad K with 13 top 10s and Buescher with 16 top 10s. And then this is the one we're going to disagree on. Ryan Preece, I'm going to give him a C. I did expect more out of him this year. He did show speed sometimes, but I expected to see him get a victory this year. I know Colton's mentioned it about going to 3 cars and how that hurts. But for the team grade, I'm actually going to give the team grade a C. I think I think the drivers got what they could out of the equipment, but they're not getting race-winning cars. To get a higher grade than that, you got to win a damn race.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Just starting off with Brad Keselowski, I think I'm going to give him a C. I mean, from the beginning of the year, it was very challenging start for Keselowski. I mean, it was had a miserable first half of the season. Second half, he was a little better, showing some flashes, putting together great finishes, and he came close to winning in Atlanta and Phoenix. But I feel like Brad K in the second half of the year, he's definitely improved on the track and getting better results. So I would give him a C. And then moving on to Ryan Preece, I'm going to give him a B. I mean, it was a career year for Preece in top 10s. Knew that going into the season, I knew that he was going to show a lot of flashes and show what kind of driver he is to compete at the top level of NASCAR. And he's put together great finishes. Came close to getting that first win this season, like at Talladega, Daytona, Las Vegas, and last RFK driver, Chris Buescher. I'm going to give him a B. I mean, definitely disappointed. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it was disappointing, but didn't win, didn't make the playoffs. But outside of that, he did score a lot of top tens consistently this season. But continued to show off his road course skills. I feel like he ran consistent enough at the road courses. I mean, he put together solid performances, but yeah, the only disappointment is they didn't win this year, the Busher team. But overall, I would say it was a solid year for Busher. And just looking at RFK as a whole, I would give them a B minus.
I'll say it. I'll say it was a disappointing season for Chris Buescher and RFK because I think Chris Buescher is a driver that should be competing for a championship. I think RFK is a team that should be putting its hat in the ring with that of Penske, Hendrick, and Joe Gibbs. I'm not saying they would be on the same level of them this year, but I think they should have been making more strides towards that. So for that reason, I give RFK a D plus. I give Chris Buescher a B because I think he did the best that he could with the equipment he was given. I think where RFK made a miscalculation is what happened when they first came up and started being good again, right? They were at just bad fast at the short tracks. Best car at the short tracks was an RFK car, along with SHR there for a couple years, especially at the beginning of the next gen. They weren't as good at the other tracks. They were solid, but they weren't as good. So they made some moves to try and improve on those others, but they lost sight of their short track program, and that's what made them be able to make the playoffs without worrying about not getting a win. And I think that's something that they need to get back to is having strengths. I don't think this team necessarily has a weakness other than they don't win, but they need to focus on having more strength. They're just good everywhere, and not great at anything. So, anyways, grades wise, Busher I gave a B because he's just like me, just great. Could do better, but just doing all he can. Ryan Preece, I give an A minus. I completely disagree with Bull. I think that looking at Ryan Preece and the seasons he had leading up to this, 8 spots up in his point standings from last year and 5 spots up in his average finish. I think that is an improvement that is unprecedented at this stage in his career. So I knew he always had it in him, but to see him do this well, I'm proud of him. I don't know why I said it like a proud father. I guess because Josh is MCM. Then Brad Keselowski, what a season for him. 6-13, 32nd in the points at Mexico. That's like race 15, race 16 this season.
Mm-hmm.
I give him that plus because of the effort to work his way all the way back to 20th in the points. So I give him credit for that. But maybe just give a full season and shoot, he probably would have had more top 10s than his teammates and maybe even a win.
Yeah.
But that leads us, I forgot I was the host there for a second. That leads us to Richard Childress Racing, who had 2 drivers this season. Austin Dillon wheeling the number 3 car once again. 1 win at Richmond, 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s, and a 15th place finish in the point standings. And then Kyle Busch, 3 no wins, 3 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and a 21st place finish in the point standings.
So I'm going to give RCR a D as a team grade. And I'm going to give – they're just giving Kyle Busch an absolute shit car every week. Austin Dillon, I'm also going to give him a D. He did get the 1 win, only had 5 top 10s on the year, and he started the season with 3 of them and was only able to get 2 more the rest of the season. Kyle Busch, I think he's doing the best that he can out of that car. He is a championship driver, but he's still able to manage 10 top 10s on the season. So I'm going to give Kyle Busch a B.
All right. Yeah, Richard Childress Racing, just starting off with Austin Dillon. I'm going to give him a B, or excuse me, I'm going to give him a D plus. Like we talked about, got that win at Richmond this year, leading 107 laps. But just going back to the beginning of the year, I mean, it was a solid start at the beginning with the new relationship and the new crew chief with Richard Boswell. Put together three straight top 10 finishes, had a rough summer stretch, which led to bad results. But yeah, outside of Richmond, it was definitely a rough season for Austin Dillon. So I will give him a D plus. And for his teammate, Kyle Busch, I'm going to give him a D. I mean, winless for the second year in a row. I mean, he had a great start to the year with 3 straight top 10 finishes. Well, 3 straight top 10 finishes. Came close to winning at Coda, where he dominated the race, but ultimately didn't get the win. I mean, yeah, from that point, it looked like it was going to be a promising year, and looked like Kyle Busch was going to flip the page. But after that, the speed was not there, and not performing well for the rest of the season. Made a crew chief change late, and showed potential there late in the season with 2 top tens. But Richard Childress Racing as a whole, I'm going to give them a D.
Richard Childress Racing as a whole gets an F for me because they have failed Kyle Busch immaculately this season and seasons prior in his tenure there. For Austin Dillon, I give him a D plus because he at least made the playoffs and got a win. Sure, worse stats than his teammates. Really finished 28th in the point standings if there was no playoffs. This marks the 3rd year in a row where he sported an average finish above 20th. It was actually the best of those 3 years. And his sophomore season is the only other season that he ever had that. So I think it's hard to remember, but there was a time where Dillon was a consistent playoff threat and made round of 12 appearances. So the bar is higher for Austin Dillon than I think a lot of people have, and that's why I give him a D plus. Kyle Busch, I give him a D. Only 2 DNFs, so that's impressive, but that doesn't tell the full story. It was just a very painfully average year for Kyle Busch. I believe, by all accounts, looks like his worst season of his career. And I don't know if that's necessarily his fault. I'm sure there's some regression in there, but largely I blame that on RCR, which again I gave an F. Moving along down to Trackhouse Racing, a team a team supplied by Richard Childress Racing. I think got hurt by Richard Childress a little bit this year. They had Ross Chastain in the 1 with a impressive win at the Coke 600, 6 top 5s, 14 top 10s, and a 10th place finish in the points. SVG, he had 5 wins, 5 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. We all know where those wins came from. 12th place finish in the points. Daniel Suarez, he had 2 top 5s and 7 top 10s, along with a 29th finish in the point standings.
So start with SVG. I'm going to give him a B plus. They know what their strengths are, and the team executed that. Set him up for those 5 wins on the road courses. When a guy's good at something, you give him what he needs, you're going to win. Ross Chastain, I also gave him a B. He showed great speed at some points this year, and that race at the Coke 600 is one that I'll probably remember for a while. And then Daniel Suarez, I actually gave him a D. The performance compared to last year, he did drop in most stats compared to last year, and then also compared to his teammates. So he got a D, and then Trackhouse as a team, a B plus.
All right. All right. Just starting off with Ross Chastain. I think I'm going to give him a B minus. I mean, like you mentioned, the win in the Coca-Cola 600. He had 12 top 10s on the year. Had a solid start to the year, putting up together good top 10 results. Had a rough summer stretch, of course, not really showing the best speed. So, and kind of showed in the playoffs a little bit, especially at the beginning of the round. But yeah, I would give Ross a B minus. And Shane Van Gisbergen, I'm going to give him a B plus. I mean, obviously our 2025 Rookie of the Year, dominated on the road courses this season, like we talked about, getting those 5 wins. But at first, he struggled at the ovals at the beginning. But as the season progressed, he was getting a lot better. And he was getting top 15 results, and he ended up getting his first top 10 in an oval late in the season at Kansas, and showed flashes at Talladega and at Daytona too. And last but not least, Daniel Suarez. I'm gonna give Suarez an F. I mean, worst season of his Cup career. Performance on the track was inconsistent. There were a lack of strong runs and results, and he was not really performing well compared to Chastain and SVG, and not winning races like Chastain and SVG. So because of that, I have to give Daniel Suarez an F. And just looking at Trackhouse Racing as a whole, I think I'm going to give them a B. I definitely like what I saw from the road courses this year, and the speed out of Chastain from the beginning. And yeah, I think I will give Trackhouse Racing a B.
I give Trackhouse Racing a C minus. I think they failed their drivers other than SVG pretty much throughout the season. Suarez did have the worst season of his career outside of that year at Gaunt Brothers Racing. We don't count that. He went from 2 DNFs to 9. I give him a D minus for Daniel. You definitely could fail him though, for sure. I mean, he lost his ride and all of that. So F is definitely a very valid response to that. Ross Chastain, I give a B minus. I think he did the best he could with the equipment he had. I just don't think the equipment was there this year. And SVG, A minus. What more can you ask? 5 years in your first full time season. They're not in this to win a championship. They're in this to win races and make money for Trackhouse, and they did exactly that. So make a playoff run as well. But yeah, Trackhouse C minus. And let's move along to 2311, who had Bubba Wallace in the 23. I think Bull said before the show he has a controversial take here. We'll see. One win from Bubba Wallace, 6 top 5s and 14 top 10s with an 11th place finish in the point standings. Tyler Reddick went winless with 7 top 5s and 14 top 10s and a 9th place finish in the point standings.
Did you forget the other one?
Oh my God, I forgot about Riley Herbst. I completely forgot about Riley Herbst. I don't have anything on him. Did he even get a top 10 this season?
He had no wins, no top 5s, no top 10s.
Best finish of 14th.
And he had a best finish. His best finish was worse than Rick Ware Racing.
Oh man.
So I'm going to start with Tyler Reddick. I gave Tyler Reddick a B plus. Did not get the win this year, but still was able to have 14 top 10s and was in contention to win a couple races. So he's going to give him an A minus. Bubba Wallace, I'm actually going to give him a B. Even though he did have the win this year, should have had 2 wins this year. He showed good speed, but had 9 DNFs on the year. And I think a couple of those were some decisions that he made, being too aggressive in certain spots. And then Riley Herbst, I'm just going to go ahead and mark him down. He's going to have to repeat the class. He failed. He got an F. His season was so bad that it didn't even get remembered. But the team here,
I prefer he doesn't repeat the class, honestly. Just put him back down in the extended series where he belongs.
He's getting held back a year. But for the team, I'm going to give them an A minus.
All right, solid. All right, starting off with Tyler Reddick for me, I'm going to give Tyler Reddick a B. I mean, like you mentioned, Bull didn't get that win this season. It was a mid-season slump. The team was struggling with execution, which led to them not getting the best results. And but they overall, I think they showed speed, but they were just not getting the results. And I feel like just a lot of misfortunes there for Tyler Reddick. But overall, I was impressed with the speed out of the 45. And moving on to his teammate Bubba Wallace, I also give him a B. I mean, I feel like he had a career year. He was showing speed at the beginning of the season, and as we got into the summer, like we talked about, that Brickyard 400 win. Ever since that win, he showed consistency throughout the rest of the summer, looking like he was going to be a championship contender, and who knows, a championship 4. He was going to land a championship 4 berth, but unfortunately that didn't happen as he was eliminated from the round of 12. I mean, I just think what could have been. But moving on to Riley Herbst, I mean, he also failed. He also failed my class. I give him an F in his first season in the Cup Series. I mean, he was working with a new team, working with a new crew chief, and just getting a feel for the Cup Series. But I give Riley Herbst an F. And just looking at 2311 as a whole, I would give them a B overall as a team. And just with everything that's been going on with the lawsuits, and everything like that. But I was impressed with their speed, I would say.
Bull, what was your grade for Tyler Reddick? I missed that. I was too busy laughing my ass off.
A B plus.
Oh, so I thought Tyler Reddick was where you're going to have controversy. I have a C minus for Tyler Reddick. I thought he was terrible. I mean, there was a clear regression this season. First winless year since his second season with RCR, the least amount of top 5s and top 10s since that season. He actually had more top 10s that year. He had a great year in 2024. He needs to get back to whatever that is, because I expect more from Tyler Reddick. And I'm not going to give him a B because he got 9th place in the points. He did not show anything this year. He was really non-existent, especially in the second half of the season to me. Bubba Wallace, I give a B minus. Clear improvement throughout the year. DNFs are a problem. A little too aggressive at some points. Could have had a top 5, but didn't. Ended up getting a 30th or something, being just a little too aggressive. That's always been a problem with Bubba, but you're getting the most out of him, and I think he was the better driver at 2311 this year. To be honest, I think when you look at speed throughout, he's the one who was in more contention for wins. He could have had 2 wins if Denny Hamlin had power steering. Overall, 2311 as a whole, I give him a C plus. I see the improvement with Bubba Wallace, but I see a clear regression with whatever's going on in the 45 camp. So they need to figure that out. And an F for Riley Herbst brings that grade down a lot. But here we go. This is honestly the moment I have been waiting for. It's time to talk about Penske. And I'm just going to take the mic right now because I need to get straight to Austin Cindric. This guy, you look at him and you think this might be this generation's Paul Menard. And then you look at Paul Menard's stats, and he had better seasons than this guy. He's been with Penske for 4 years and has done nothing but regress from an okay rookie year. Seriously, his best average finish, the amount of top 5s, his best average finish, the most amount of top 5s and top 10s in his career came in his rookie year. The most amount of lead lap finishes came in his rookie season. This show has given a ton of criticism to Ty Gibbs. Some fair, some not fair. Ty Gibbs had nearly half the amount of top 5s that Cindric has amassed in 4 years at Penske Racing in his rookie season. This season, he had the same or less amount of top 5s and top 10s as Josh Berry, Ryan Preece, Ty Gibbs, Brad Keselowski, Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar, Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek, AJ Allmendinger, and Daniel Suarez. I would rather see Cole Custer get another chance in decent equipment than watch this guy race another year in the sport. And if you have something wrong with that, go tell Austin Cindric to prove me wrong. F minus. Do you remember when this guy and Chase Briscoe were in the same conversation?
Mm-hmm.
That's a joke now. That's an absolute joke. Chase Briscoe is probably going to be a champion. Does Austin Cindric have another year in him? He does, but what is he going to do? Rot? Yeah. There's my Austin Cindric rant. If you're wondering, he had one win, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, a 14th place finish in the point standings because of that win. Otherwise, he would have finished 20th. Yeah, it's 4 years, man. You need to figure it out. If you're at 4 years of the job and you don't get up in the ranks at all, you should probably go somewhere else. And I think that's what Penske needs to do with Austin Cindric. But getting back on track here, feel free to give any responses to my Austin Cindric talk.
I think Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney, he had 4 wins, 15 top 5s, 19 top 10s, 8 DNFs, and a 6th place finish in the point standings. Wood Brothers is kind of I'll put under this umbrella here. Josh Berry, their one driver, had to win 3 top 5s and 8 top 10s. Joey Logano in the 22 had 1 win, 7 top 5s, and 13 top 10s, and a 7th place finish in the point standings.
So let's go ahead and point it out. Wood Brothers and Penske are the same. They're the same cars. So that's where I get my Josh Berry grade of a C+. I did expect him to have better performance this year. He did have quite a few DNFs. And then the high tire wear tracks where I expected him to have good performances, he didn't have the speed. Austin Cindric, I don't think they need an explanation. I gave him a D+. Joey Logano, as much as I hate to say it, I gave him an A-. He's one of the best at closing and getting great finishes and capitalizing on others' mistakes. Ryan Blaney, I gave him a solid A. Did have the 4 wins and the 15 top 5s. He had a great season, showed speed. We talked about had the most speed at one point during the season, but just couldn't find the luck, whether the black cat ran out in front of him or what. So as the team grade, I gave them an A-.
All right. Just starting off with the Wood Brothers. Then I'll go to Penske. The Wood Brothers, Josh Berry specifically, I'm going to give Josh Berry a C. I mean, obviously he got his first career win at Las Vegas at the beginning of the year. I mean, but from that point on, he was showing flashes. He was up front leading some laps, and but unfortunately, he was not getting the best results, and that continued into the summer as he went 13 consecutive races without a single top 10, and he was able to turn it around in the playoffs. I mean, he showed speed as we got into Darlington, but ran into bad luck, which ultimately led him being eliminated from the round of 16. And but yeah, overall, I would give the Wood Brothers a C. And just moving up here to Team Penske, starting off with Ryan Blaney. I'm going to give Blaney an A. I feel like with the 4 wins this season, that's the most he's ever had in his career in a season. But it's no debate. He was the best driver at Penske. I mean, he showed up to the track with consistent speed. Wasn't able to getting the result. Was able to get the consistent results, I should say. Excuse me. But made another deep run in the playoffs. Came up short at Martinsville, but overall, it was a good season for Ryan Blaney. And Joey Logano, I would give Logano a B. I mean, he was strong at the super speedways this season, consistently running out front, leading some laps, and we didn't see that a whole lot at the intermediate tracks during the regular season. I mean, he was inconsistent, struggling to compete with teams like Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs at these type of tracks, but not showing the speed compared to what we saw at the super speedways. But he was able to make a deep run in the playoffs, making it to the round of 8, doing what he does best, showing up when it counts. And then Austin Cindric, I'm going to give Cindric a B. I mean, he got that 1 win at Talladega, which ultimately led to his playoff berth. This is another driver that was strong at the super speedways. No surprise here. I mean, at the beginning of the season, we saw him leading laps, dominating the Daytona 500 and dominating at Atlanta. And going into the season, he was going to be one of the best super speedway racers this season. The biggest question for Cindric was the improving on intermediate tracks. I mean, we saw that this year at Las Vegas, Texas, Pocono, Iowa, and Indianapolis. So I feel like that's in a way that's a step in the right direction for driver number 2. But when you look at Penske as a whole, I'm going to give them a B+.
I'm just going to go ahead and grab my popcorn.
Ben, did you listen to a word I said? He did not improve. He got worse across the board.
I mean, I saw flashes from intermediate tracks.
Did he end up in the top 10 for 5 minutes? I mean, he had a good start, and I was on the Austin Cindric train to start the year. Sure. But he did not finish the season well, really at all. And I don't see it. I don't see it at all. When you compare him to a Paul Menard who ran for RCR back in the day, he is not nearly comparable. And he's driving for Penske. He has been at Penske for 4 years. You look at his teammates, Ryan Blaney, he had 4 wins, 15 top 5s, 19 top 10s. That's what, 3 times the top 5s, almost 4 times the top 10s. He needs to he hasn't gotten better. If he was getting better, I would get it. But he's not. He maybe shows a flash, but we don't need flashes. It's year 4 now. We're going into year 5. We need more than just a flash at this point, and he has not given that at all. Ty Gibbs in his 2 years in the Cup Series, or I guess we're at 3 years now, has shown more than Austin Cindric. What are we going to give Ty Gibbs this year? I mean, Penske is a team of the same level of stature as Joe Gibbs Racing, so he should be held to that standard. What grade are we going to give Alex Bowman this year? Because he should be held to the same standard as Alex Bowman. So again, it's opinion at the end of the day. I just don't see that at all. I don't see any improvement from Austin Cindric whatsoever. And it's a difference of opinion, I suppose.
Yeah, I would definitely say it was a difference of opinion for sure.
For the rest of the team, Bold, you have anything to say?
I don't see it either. Obviously, I gave him a D as well. I don't see the increase in performance.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and go through the rest of it. I gave Blaney a B. I see your guys' point on the A. I think this could have been the Blaney 10-win breakout season. I mean, think about the 2 wins he lost to an expired engine at the start of the year. Think about the win he lost at Martinsville. I mean, there's 7 wins right there. and he had the fastest car in the field, I think, throughout the year. He just had everything. Like you said, the black cat must have crossed in front of his car and just couldn't get the job done at a lot of places. So I give him a B because I just think it could have been more. It could have been a championship. We saw that he won the Phoenix race. If he could have just had better finishes throughout the round of 8 and gotten a win at Martinsville. Wood Brothers, Josh Berry, I give him a C. I was really pumped when he got that first win, but he had absolutely zero consistency throughout the year. Got 9 DNFs. Not a great recipe, but hopefully for Wood Brothers as a whole, it's an improvement, a vast improvement from Harrison Burton, who is another guy I would say in the Cindric category of just never improving. 16th place in the point standings, though. Got to improve Josh Berry, but still better than anything Harrison Burton showed. And then Joey Logano, I gave a C. He improved marginally across the board from his season last season when he won a championship, but nothing really notable, I would say, from him out of this season. So that leads us to Joe Gibbs Racing. You got Denny Hamlin, who had 6 wins, 14 top 5s, 19 top 10s. You all know what car he drives. Second place in the points. Chase Briscoe, his first season in the 19, 3 wins, 15 top 5s, and 19 top 10s. Third place in the points. Christopher Bell, 4 wins, 13 top 5s, 22 top 10s, a 5th place finish in the point standings. And then Ty Gibbs, 0 wins, 5 top 5s, and 10 top 10s. Also a 19th place finish in the point standings this season.
So start with Denny. I gave him an A+. Most wins in the Cup Series this year, and should have had a damn championship. I'm not going to go into that rant. You can go back and watch some of our other videos for that. Chase Briscoe, I also gave him an A. Had a first season with Joe Gibbs. Started out a little rough, but after they got their footing, he had one of the fastest cars, had great qualifying speed, had good race speed, and ultimately ended up with the 3 wins this year and had a great season. I can't wait to see what continues for him with Joe Gibbs. Christopher Bell, I actually gave him a B+. Only had the 4 wins on the year, and he had the 3 in a row. After he did not get it, he only got 1 more win after the 3. He did have a good playoff run. He was one of the best cars in the playoffs, but ultimately you got to win to make that championship 4. And Ty Gibbs, I gave him a C. He did have 10 top 10s. He has the longest streak, Joe Gibbs Racing, without a win. I'm not the biggest Ty Gibbs fan. And had 10 top 10s. He has the speed, the cars have the speed, but he's not getting the wins as he should in Joe Gibbs equipment. And team overall, I gave them an A.
All right. Joe Gibbs Racing, starting off with Denny Hamlin first. I'm going to give Hamlin an A+. I mean, he had a series high 6 wins, like we said. I feel like he showed incredible speed and consistency throughout the season. He was a driver that was a championship threat all season, putting up consistent numbers, which ultimately led him to the championship 4. And should have won the championship, but instead finished second to Kyle Larson. And Chase Briscoe, I'm going to give Briscoe an A. I mean, 3 wins on the season. Bull, like you said, it was a tough start to the year, just getting used to his new team. But he was putting together strong results. As time progressed, he was putting up strong results, impressed in qualifying, which ultimately led to that first win with JGR at Pocono. And since that win, it was the beginning of something special. I mean, he was arguably the most consistent driver, and he was a championship threat, and he proved it in the playoffs and made the championship 4 in his first season with JGR. And then Christopher Bell, I'm going to give Bell an A+, 5th in the standings, getting 4 wins. Started out the year red hot, winning 3 in a row, and didn't win for a while, but later he ran into a summer slump, and he was arguably the most consistent driver in the playoffs. And if consistency mattered in the sport today, Bell was going to be the champion. And then last but not least, Ty Gibbs. I'm going to give Ty Gibbs a D. I mean, awful start to begin this 2025 season. I mean, not really living up to expectations in year 3 like we expected. But as time progressed, they were getting better. I mean, he was showing his potential on the road courses like Mexico City and Chicago. and he showed improvement as the season progressed. But just like his teammates, he he didn't get a win like his teammates, and didn't make the playoffs like his teammates. But yeah, I would say I would give Ty Gibbs a D, and then Joe Gibbs Racing as a whole, I'm going to give them an A+.
All right, I'm gonna go there. So you gave Ty Gibbs a D,
Mhm.
and you gave Austin Cindric a B because Austin Cindric made the playoffs. Because Austin Cindric made the playoffs. And I'm laughing because Bull's laughing, which makes me laugh.
Because I could see it on your face as soon as he said it. I knew what was coming.
Oh God.
I just don't see it. I mean, Ty Gibbs had double the amount of top fives as Austin Cindric and double the amount of top tens as Austin Cindric. Yeah, he didn't have a win at Talladega, but that's the only thing Cindric does is he is good at super speedways. He's Ricky Stenhouse right now. That's who I would compare him to. He's good at super speedways. He's supposed to be good at the road courses, but what's his average finish there? Not very good. I don't know. I did come here to hate on Austin Cindric, so I'm just surprised that anybody could see that, and I just don't see it, but I digress. Hamlin, I gave him an A. I gave him an A. Most wins in the sport. Came just short of that elusive championship. Can't ask for much more though. Chase Briscoe, I also gave an A. Actually, gave him an A+. I mean, first year with the team, made it to the Final Four. Might have had the fastest car in the Final Four, if you ask me. I mean, came from the back twice. Yeah, he didn't have the qualifying speed, but I think they took away some of the raw speed to be able to pass a little better, and they definitely did that. Christopher Bell, I actually gave a B. He also could have gone off for 10 wins like Ryan Blaney. The way he started off the year was very different from how he finished the year. Just didn't have that same energy in the second half of the year. And if he brought that same energy, I feel like he could have rattled off 10 wins. But it seemed like that energy just kind of went to the 19 garage. And then Ty Gibbs, I gave a C. I don't think he had a great year. I think he did about what I expected him to do outside of getting a win. But I don't think he had a terrible year. Just like Brad Keselowski, he poorly started the season, worked his way all the way up to 19th in the point standings. That's impressive. Just like I thought it was impressive for Brad Keselowski to do that. So no excuses though. Next year, just like Austin Cindric, it's year 4. Let's start being comparable to our teammates and get a win. But moving on to Hendrick Motorsports, I think it's pretty easy to grade Hendrick Motorsports here. Also, JGR I gave an A- just because they didn't win the championship, and some of the inconsistencies. Not inconsistency, but the kind of somewhat racing speed fall off from Christopher Bell. But Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson in the 5, you all know him. 3 wins, 15 top 5s, and 22 top 10s. Finished first, in case you didn't know. Chase Elliott, 2 wins, 11 top 5s, 10 top 10s, 8th place in the point standings. William Byron, 3 wins in the 24 car, 11 top 5s, 16 top 10s, a 4th place finish in the point standings. And then last but least, Alex Bowman, no wins, 6 top 5s, and 16 top 10s, along with a 13th place average finish or point standings. I don't know why I said average finish.
So start with Kyle Larson. You have to do it. I feel like give him an A+. 3 wins on the year. The 22 top 10s is what's crazy to me, and ultimately won the championship. William Byron, I gave him an A. Led the most laps in Cup this year. He should have had 5 or 6 wins this year, but he couldn't close a couple of them out. Particularly that Coke 600 one. Was one that he should have won. Alex Bowman, I gave him a D+. Looking at the speed Hendrick has, performance of his teammates, the 48 car just did not have it this year. Chase Elliott, I gave him a A-. Most of the season when we talk about finishes, we said just look between 10th and 15th, and that's where Chase Elliott is all year. He had solid speed, showed consistency with top 10 speed, and just struggled with a couple finishes this year, and got the 1 win. For the team grade, I gave them an A+.
A+, all right. All right. starting off with William Byron, I'm going to give Byron an A. I mean, strong start to the year, obviously winning the Daytona 500 for the second year in a row. And from that point on, Byron, he was tough from the beginning. He showed up to the track with consistent speed, putting together consistent finishes. And from the beginning, he was looking like he was a championship threat. And then ran into a summer slump, showing up with speed, but just not getting the results, unfortunately. But he turned it around in the playoffs, making the championship for the third consecutive year. And then moving on to our champion, Kyle Larson, I'm going to give the two-time champ an A+. He had a strong start to the year with 3 wins. Beginning of the season, he was a championship threat. I mean, he was one of the most consistent drivers, putting together strong performances on the track, and ran into a summer slump after the 1,100-mile double, but showed up when it mattered there at the end. And Chase Elliott, I'm going to give the driver from Dawsonville a B+, 2 wins on the year. From the beginning, Elliott was one of the most consistent drivers, putting together top 10, top 15 results. Putting himself top 5 in the standings, and had a great summer, of course, and had a solid playoff run with that win at Kansas, and making it to the round of 8. Then last but not least, the driver of the 48, Alex Bowman. I think I'm going to give Bowman a B-. I mean, he had a strong start to the year. He was putting together solid runs and results, was losing positions and points after losing that momentum, and he was able to get that momentum back as we went into the summer stretch heading into the playoffs. And he, like before the playoffs, he looked like a driver that could make a deep run, but unfortunately that didn't happen as it was a opening round. It was a first round disaster for Alex Bowman. So I would give him a B-. And just looking at Hendrick Motorsports as a whole, I would give them an A+ as well.
Yeah. Get out of the way. A+ for Hendrick Motorsports as well for me. A+ for Kyle Larson. He's the champion in the playoff or full season format. So pretty simple there. Alex Bowman, I'll go to him. I gave him a D+. No wins. You're driving for Hendrick Motorsports. Your expectations are higher. I don't think that's necessarily on him, though. There is plenty of times where he had race winning speed, but his car failed him or his pit crew failed him. There's also times where Alex Bowman failed his team. So it goes both ways. But I look back to last season when he could have made the Final Four, but Hendrick, for whatever reason, tried to mess around with the weights. And even though he was pretty safely in the round of 8 and then had an outstanding round of 8 after getting penalized, and also let Joey Logano win it. So I think, and Hendrick's pretty much admitted it. Jeff Gordon has said it multiple times that they need to do better by Alex Bowman. And that's what I truly hope they do, because I think he is a very talented driver that can showcase that if they give him the opportunity. But regardless, I give him a D+. William Byron, he gets an A-. Regular season champ, got an impressive walk-off win at Martinsville with me in attendance. Somehow did it all in kind of a quiet fashion, as he always does. But yeah, great season from Byron, just missing that championship for the A+ for me. Chase Elliott, I gave a C-. Consistent as hell. 12.6 average finish on the team, sure, but he's clearly the third driver at Hendrick, and I expect more out of him. I need him to start making waves again. It's been way too long, and I question whether it's possible with this car. Clearly, this car has pretty much damaged his career to this point. Hopefully, adding back horsepower at the short tracks will help him with that, but still, I C-. I expect more out of him. I want him competing for a championship, so he would have been probably more likely if we had a longer term format. But yeah, that's our. I already said I gave Hendrick Motorsports an A+. So that's our grades for this year. That was a good long hour episode, but I think we did a pretty good job of getting through them there. Had a couple roadblocks with Austin Cindric and then Austin Cindric adjacent drivers, but it happens. A little difference of opinion. And yeah, is there any last thoughts? We're not sure. I think we'll be taking next week off, but I don't know about the week after that. We'll see. But do expect maybe a little bit of infrequency as we take a little break from the full season. We were going 2 episodes a week, so we might take a little break. We'll see. We'll probably talk about that after this. I'll give you all a for sure answer eventually. But yeah, I think that's all. Is there anything you guys want to add to wrap up this show, starting with Bull?
Man, it's been a great season. Been fun doing this, and can't wait for next year to begin already.
Ben?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely sucks. Season's over. Already looking forward to 2026, and yeah, it's always a blast. Always a blast talking racing with you guys. It's definitely a lot of fun.
All right, all right. Well, thank you all for coming on the show. Thank you everyone for listening. I do want to point out we are looking to make some big improvements to this show, both in on-screen stuff and behind-the-screen stuff. But if you guys have any suggestions, please feel free to comment them down below, and we'll take those into effect. Yeah, be sure to follow us on Twitter. Myself, Colt underscore Colt underscore. No, wait, that's a different Twitter. LFC underscore 99. Follow Bull at Bull underscore 81818. Follow Ben at Ben Miller PXP. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.